In this dramatic scenario, Brenda and Stephen Dennison stand by in an emergency room hallway awaiting news concerning their 6-year-old son, Justin. Justin and his older brother Jacob were involved in a motor vehicle crash. This dramatic scene illustrates some pitfalls in delivering bad news and coping with death in children. There is no formula that works all the time, no way to make bad news into good news, and no single right way. As you watch this scenario, think about how this could be improved.
This whole thing is my fault. He's gonna make it. I can just feel it. I'm right here for you, honey. Well, I'm right here. We'll go through this together. Whatever you want, we'll do. And everything's gonna be all right. Everything.
You were supposed to be watching him. Haven't you heard a word they've said in the past hour? Justin's not responding. He could die. Then what are we going to do?
Stop saying that! I am not going to think that way. I don't care what they tell us. Justin is a strong little boy. They don't know him like we do.
Are you the parents of the kid in the trauma bay?
His name is Justin.
Would you let the doctor talk? What's going on in there?
Honestly, we coded him for an hour, but he remained asystolic.
What are you saying? Is he okay? Where is he? When can we see him?
He's a strong boy. He needs your help. You should be in there helping him.
No, I wish I could tell you there was something left to be done, but he is gone now. We worked on him for an hour. Okay, I know how you must be feeling right now, but you've got to try to concentrate on the fact that you've still got another son.
This is all my fault. This whole thing. I can't believe I let them go out without me. No, please. I want you to go back in there and help him. It can't be enough time for you to know that he's gone for sure.
Was Justin in any pain? Was he scared?
No, he remained unconscious during the resuscitation. And okay, look, we have a social worker assigned to you. She'll be here shortly, and she'll be able to tell you what's happening next, okay?
What is that? What does he mean happening next?
I don't know what he means.
I don't think they're giving him enough time. Why won't they help him?
I knew objectively what was going on in there, but if somebody just stuck their head out every few minutes and said, you know, we're trying, but it's not looking good. We don't have anything on the monitor. We're not getting anywhere, but we're still trying. It would have made a little difference. It wouldn't have changed the outcome.
I didn't know if she was going to live or die, though probably in my own mind I knew that she was already dead. But I just wanted to know that limbo is probably the worst feeling that you can imagine.
The best thing is if the family has had at least an idea that something is going to happen or may possibly happen. Being honest up front with the families is always the best policy.
But if we give them the information that we have and be truthful to them, it will help them be ready and be more prepared to handle whatever eventuality is going to end up with that patient.
There's no point in letting them wait too long to know that their child is dead.
Sometimes the most honest answer and the best answer is, I don't know.
I think as soon as you recognize that a child is probably not going to respond to resuscitation measures, then a part of you shifts gears into looking at how you can provide emotional support to the family. Do they need to come in and see the resuscitation efforts so they realize that that's what's really happening to their child? Do they need an opportunity to say goodbye while the child is still technically alive? Will that be important to them? What can we do to make this the best possible experience at one of the most difficult times in people's lives?
It was extremely comforting and calming to have one point of contact who kept me in the loop as far as what the next step was, and then what's the next step, and what was going on.
And of course, they had the curtain around the bed, and they had a sheet pulled up to his neck, and the bed was raised up so high that I really couldn't get close to my son. I wanted so much to get very close to him, and I couldn't do that.
it's very helpful for the team to get together and have a plan of action rather than somebody just taking it upon themselves to speak to the family. It's much more appropriate if we decide on how that information is going to be given.
The team leader and oftentimes the social worker or a nurse who's been through this before will then go and talk with the family and deliver the news about their child.
I know that it's very difficult, whether they know the person or they don't know the person, for providers to step out and say, things aren't going well. I need to let you know they're not going well. I'll be back in a few minutes, but is there anybody I can call, or this is where we're headed?
I think your first gut reaction is always, this really can't be happening. This is not the way it's supposed to end. And then, oh my God, what are we going to tell the family?
I wouldn't recommend walking in and saying, hello, Mrs. Smith, your child is dead. But you might walk in and say, Mrs. Smith, as you know, your child was brought here by helicopter after being in a car accident and was very, very severely injured. The paramedics in the field did everything they could and brought the child here, and a large team of people worked on your child for half an hour or 45 minutes or whatever. And we did a variety of things. We did everything we possibly could, but your child's injuries were so severe that we were unsuccessful in reviving your child, and I'm very sorry to tell you your child is dead. And then you stop. Then you stop, because the family member is going to have some sort of reaction, and you can't give them any more information at that point. You just stop and wait with them.
When the neonatologist told us that she had died, at first I didn't like that he told us in the hallway. But when they brought us in the room and said that we could hold her, he stayed with us. He answered all the questions.
They were very good at letting us know that in this particular situation, there's nothing that they know of that could have helped us to prevent this or change the outcome. To acknowledge that you understand that this is hard. If you could just, if you word things in a way that instead of I have to ask these questions, say, I know this is the worst time possible. If you can answer these questions, this is how it will help.
I think the most important thing in dealing with families that are coping with death is that you don't have to have the perfect words to say to them. By being there, by offering a shoulder to cry on, by being open to talking with them can be the best thing. They aren't looking for the magic words for you to say.
I can think of many examples when people have made things worse for a family without meaning to, and most of the time those were related to people trying to make themselves feel better.
When they didn't look at me, I felt kind of confused and a little disappointed that they didn't want to come in contact with me and my mother because they didn't want to get emotionally attached. And I felt in a real state of confusion because I wanted to know what the situation was with my little sister.
I wish a nurse had said to me, or a doctor, would you like to be alone with your son for a while, and would you like to, maybe hold him for a while. But that was never said, and you don't think of those things at the time.
I do remember the EMT person saying, I don't know what to say, and I don't know what to do. And that stands out, and I just think the acknowledgement of her caring and being concerned and knowing that there really wasn't anything she could have done. Just her saying that let me know that she cared about that, and that meant something to me.
It doesn't take any longer to do your job with compassion.
And he came back several times to check on us to see how we were, and I appreciated that very much.
Standing there and welling up a little bit, or gulping hard a few times, or sniffing is not weakness. That's just being very human.
Showing emotion with the family, I think, is appropriate until you hit a role reversal. I don't think it's appropriate where you get so emotional that the family has to take care of you.
I think that I was initially, in the beginning of my career, concerned that the family would feel that I was being too emotional if I cried. But I've consistently heard from families that that makes them feel that the child was cared about.
It said to me that she meant something to somebody else other than me, that Alexandra was important, and that she touched other people's lives.
You know, I know they have to, professionally, they have to keep a distance, because if they got real close to everyone, you know, it would just tear them down also. But the fact that they took the time to call and to come to the house and explain some things was just very helpful to us in our dealing, with Billy's death.
The best thing to say to somebody who is in my situation is to say, "I'm so sorry," and that would be perfect.
It seemed to me like they were there because they wanted to be there, and it's almost like they were chosen to be there for us to help us get through this grievous period.
I think I'd remind all providers that it's going to traumatize you, just, it's not just another everyday event. Make sure you take care of yourself when you're done taking care of us.
Having discussed some important principles for delivering news of death, let's revisit our original dramatic scenario. In what ways is the approach improved and thus the family better supported?
This whole thing is my fault. I should have been watching them closer.
Dr. Reynolds, these are Justin's parents, Mr. and Mrs. Dennison.
I'm Joseph Reynolds, the physician who's been caring for Justin.
What's going on in there?
What, is he okay? Where is he? When can we see him?
Yeah, let's talk about that. We have a room over here that's private so we can sit down. Who would you like in there with you when we talk?
Just my mom.
Okay. Please have a seat.
Doctor, what's wrong?
I know Nancy's been keeping you up to date, but I'm afraid I have some bad news to tell you. As you know, Justin was severely injured. When he arrived, his heart had already stopped. We made several attempts and tried different things to restart it, but it didn't work. I'm sorry to have to tell you that Justin died a few minutes ago.
I can't believe he's dead. There must be something else we can do. He can't be dead.
Dude, what happened?
Was he scared? Did he ask for me?
No, I don't think he was aware of anything, and he wasn't in any pain. Again, I am deeply sorry for your loss. Would you like to be with Justin?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and leave you with Nancy for a moment while I go arrange for that. Now, I'll be back to talk with you again when you've had enough time with Justin. But Nancy will be with you in the meantime, okay? Nancy, thank you.
I'll do all that I can to answer your questions. We're here to help you in any way possible. Is there someone I can call for you?
I can't even think, much less tell you who to call.
That's normal. Take all the time that you need. And please, if you need some privacy, just let me know.
Would you please stay with me till I can see my boy?